Okay, so here we are back in Modeler for our third project in the casino courseware. And for this, we are going to build a slot machine. Now, slot machines vary all over the place. And if you've ever done any reference, ever been to Atlantic City, Las Vegas, you can see they vary in size and shape and everything else. Some are old, some are new, some are electronic. Some don't even have the pull-down handles anymore. And the good majority of them don't even have coin slots anymore. It's all little ticket things, which I don't know, kind of loses a lot of fun, but I know it makes the casino more money. But so what we're going to do is just build a pretty generic slot machine. And the idea for this is that you can create an ATM type thing with this. You can create a slot machine, of course, and any other type of machinery type thing. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a box, a new layer, and I'm going to press my comma key to pull out to about a 2-meter grid, just so our unit's a little bit bigger. And in the front view, this is going to be pretty much the shape of our slot machine. Okay. Now I've already gone ahead and added some segments here, and you can do that by adding the up arrow, down arrow to take away segments, but do it in the right view. Put your mouse in the right view. If you do it here, you're making segments in that view. Here you can do it up as well. Okay, and I'm going to add, let's press N for numeric, about 25 segments or so. Let's do an even 30 on the y-axis. Okay, that's it. No smooth angles, no smooth edges or anything. F2 on your keyboard to center that. If your F2 doesn't work, go to Modify, hit Center right there under Translate. From there, we're going to go to point mode, and we're going to bend these points. So I'm just going to right mouse around those to select them in the right view, and that selects both sides. Shift tilde is bend. Tilde is above your caps key. 2 above. There's a shift, caps lock tab, and then your tilde, which is next to your 1, left of your 1 key. And with the right mouse button, I'm going to just drag up. Okay, it's going to create a fall off for our bend. And then in the top view, I'm just going to pull that forward. And there is our bend. Spacebar turns off the bend tool. Click a blank area to deselect. And then for these back points, just do a right mouse lasso. Press H for scale and make sure your modes is set to Action Center Mouse. Put your mouse down at the bottom and just scale those down like that. Spacebar turns off the tool. Click a little blank area down here to deselect. F2 to center again. And there is the initial shape for our slot machine. Control S, let's save this guy. And back on your objects, we'll call it slot machine. Okay. Next step, go to polygon mode. And you can even come to a full frame if you want, like that. Let's press the D key, get into our viewport. Where are you? And under interface, I believe. What am I looking for? I think it'll turn off the grid. Right there, under layout. Gives us a little bit easier time seeing things, okay? And actually, while we're at it, let's press Q. And we'll call this slot machine metal. It is not the default color for new things we'll create. But we will make the color. I'm just going to give it a tint to the blue. We are going to change it later, but this will help see things a little bit better. Get away from that gray all the time. See? Now, that weird kind of shading like that, by default, this slot machine metal has a very high smoothing angle of 90 degrees. Bring it down to like 20. And what happens there is that that weird shading goes away, but you still get smoothing. Okay? So again, it was like 89 like this. You can see it looks kind of funky in some areas. Actually, that's okay. But if you bring it down to 0, make sure I have the right one selected. And then bring it up just to about 20. You can see that that stays pretty smooth in there without the sides kind of bending in, looking a little odd. And at that point, hit S to save the scene again. Save the object, I should say. Okay, so here's our initial shape. This is going to flare out around the front. We're going to take these polygons right from the top and pull them down to about there, just till they straighten out. Okay? Now, of course, if we bevel, we're going to get this. Okay for louvers or blinds or something, but instead, under multiply, we're going to go to our multi-shift. Open numeric and make sure group polygons is on for your multi-shift tool. Shift A brings these a view, and with the multi-shift on, I can just click and drag to the left, which insets like that. See? You can pull it in, but we don't want to pull it in just yet. We want to just keep it like there, roughly. And then I'm going to right-click once, and we're going to shift this. We're going to in like that. There. Okay, and that creates our nice little inlet that we're going to use. Okay, and now we're going to do it one more time. Right-click resets that multi-shift. But for this one, press 0 on your keypad. Gets back to a quad view. And you're going to press Y for rotate. And now you're going to rotate these from the bottom. So put your mouse down at the bottom of the selection and rotate. That's assuming your action center is still set to mouse. Okay. And we can do this two ways. We can keep it that way and then scale it down. Or, this is more a style thing if you want. You can actually multi-shift one more time, but just pull it back and then rotate it and then pull it down. Kind of like that. And then press H for scale, and from the bottom, just scale it down. And then you can kind of move it up a little. And scale it just a little bit more. There we go. Good. Then click a little blank area to deselect, and what you've created in there is your nice little window where everything's going to be seen. Okay, but it still keeps that same kind of curved contour. So we'll press S again to save. And again, this is why I mentioned about an ATM, because it's kind of the same idea if you have to do that possibly for a job. Now, I think this, even though it was all together shifted and multi-shifted and beveled, I'm going to select this polygon and just see if I can move it down just a little bit. Or better yet, just to even this out on top here. I'm going to move the top up. There we go. That's it. I just want a little bit more even trim all the way around there. Okay. And now what we're going to do for the edges in here, carefully select these edges. Not that one. If you select the wrong edge, hold the control key and click on it. I don't know how well you can see that. But see, I've come around here. Then do a select loop. We'll see how much we got. And I don't think it would go around. So you want to select the bottom and select a loop. So when I do the select loop on these straightaways, they're not actually selecting a loop, but they are selecting along that particular edge. Okay, so I've got that entire, there you go, you can see it there, that entire inner edge selected, like that. Okay, press the G key with your mouse over one of the corners to center that, and then you press your period key to zoom in. Then I'm going to select Edge Bevel from the Multiply tab, and then I can just click and drag, and you can see we're just beveling that inner edge. Spacebar turns it off, and then click your question mark key to deselect. And now you can see we've got a nice little edge in there. Right, and we can surface that as like a little rubber trim or a little metallic trim, just so it's not so plain. Okay, and that is our inner workings for our slot machine. Looks pretty simple, but you'll see once we finish the rest, put the buttons on, and then you put textures and lighting on it, it'll actually look pretty cool. So let's move on to the next video.